A lot of really good things, happened inside the game, especially in the first half. Really thrilled with the way we pushed the pace in the first half. In particular, we wanted to get off to a great start, and I thought we did. Looking at our assist and our made field goals, pretty terrific. The 25 assists, season high or low in turnovers. 9 for 18 from the 3-point line, 42 points in the paint. You guys know the rest as far as this thing. I thought defensively we kept Sarah uncomfortable for most of the game. I thought our pace really was not something that she was incredibly excited about in terms of getting up and down the floor. We wore her out. That was our goal, to make her tired. And I thought our kids executed the game plan just about as good as we wanted them to. So really happy with the way we played this afternoon.
Teri, just talk a little bit about the exquisite nature of the ball movement.
Okay.
It seemed like every time anybody wanted to get the ball down low,
Yeah.
somebody was there to get it and turn around and put in a layup, and the passes worked.
Well, we knew this. We were just trying to take advantage of what the defense was giving us. And, one thing about defense, if you can get teams in rotations, sometimes their closeouts are maybe not, as controlled. And we felt like our advantage was getting them in rotations, forcing them to have to close out, at times out of control, and then being smart enough to lift fake, shot fake, put it on the deck, drop it off, kick it out. And we talked a lot about that, just in watching them, how they guard. Certainly at halftime, we reiterated it. That's how we will get points if we can do those two things. We're not going to try to challenge Williams at the rim one-on-one. We're probably not going to win that battle because she's very long and athletic. But we did feel like we could bring her away from the basket. On some of those rolls, the screen and rolls, she plugs pretty high. We felt like we could get her a little bit just out of space, a little bit more space to work with for our post players. And so, again, this is our third back-to-back games where our assists have been relatively high, which is really good for us.
Teri, a couple things for you. First, I know what happened late in the game with Yarden going down, but do you have any update there?
No update as of right now. It's as you said, it was late in the game. Ben and Dr. Tripp, I think have her in the training room right now doing some recovery and rehab. And then I think that as the days go, we'll probably know a little bit more tomorrow and the next day.
And then just kind of a multifaceted question about Sydney. Lily mentioned, how vocal she was, from the sideline and
Right.
just, practice and everything while she was working through that. From your perspective, I guess, what did that look like for Sid to stay engaged as a leader as she worked through that injury? And then just how much did you see her really start to settle back into things today?
Yeah. Again, it's great to have Sid back on the floor. I think she's settling in, really well. And, a couple reasons, Seth. One, she's a super high IQ kid. Two, she's a really mature kid. And so she knows how valuable she is, not just to be on the floor for us, but also her leadership is incredible. She's a really great teammate. That's one of the things I've always said about Sid is that she is incredible when it comes to just being a teammate and pouring into her teammates, but also knowing that all of them have different buttons that you have to push. And Sid has a really good feel for everyone individually and what they need from her. And so. It's been great to have her back without question, but she did. She was really great when she was not out there in practice or on the bench.
Some of the assist numbers obviously come from making more shots, but what has clicked? I mean, I think it's like 78% over the last 4 games assisted baskets. Is it something you've seen in practice, more of a focus, or just you girls making the extra pass? What have you seen to attribute that kind of increase in numbers.
Yeah, Mike, it's just reps we're getting. And it's, we talk about it. We talk about how much better of a basketball team we are when we're playing in space, when we're playing with pace, when we can get the ball out of our hands. You've heard me say it a lot of times. There's moments where the ball sticks. We just hold on to it. And so we've really talked about our ball movement and getting the ball out of our hands quicker. It's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to be able to come out and execute it. But it's also something that we emphasize and we do every day in practice. But our kids like playing fast. They like playing that way. And so we will continue to rep that and talk about it and show all of those good clips in film because it's something that we got to continue to do. It puts a lot of pressure on teams defensively when you have great ball movement, when you can get it side to side, when you have balance, but when you have some touches from different people. We always talk to Lily and Strip about, hey, we got to look inside. You don't necessarily have to shoot it, but we got to get a post touch. Maybe we get a relocation. Maybe we have a hard closeout to that extra pass. And so those are all the things they see in film. But we work on them every day too.
Hey, Coach, congratulations
Thanks,
on the
Skip.
win. Lot of numbers are fantastic here today, up and down. Of course, holding up to 35% shooting, and all the forced turnovers that you guys had. The stat sheet shows a lot. In terms of Strip, her numbers are not as impressive in the stat sheet as they have been in the last few games. However, it's impossible to watch the game and to not notice her physical dominating presence out there. Talk about how important she's been to the team this year.
Well, she's really had a couple of back to back, probably or 3 or 4 games that she's since the Penn State game where she's just been lights out offensively. But sometimes, and this is the thing, we get caught up in these stat sheets. A lot of the things that she does for us, they don't show up. And Strip is physical. She understands the game plan. She is experienced because of her time that she spent at Tennessee playing in the SEC. She's reliable. And so we needed, while some of our other teammates were finding ways to score the ball, we needed her to come in and be a great defender for us against a first-team All-Big Ten kid in Sarah Williams. And I thought, in spite of, maybe not hitting shots like she had for us, in the last 3 or 4 games, so important defensively for us.
Teri, plus minus is a stat that sometimes doesn't mean anything, but when you look at Yarden in the first half, she was a plus 29.
Right.
Her influence on her teammates is not a surprise. She's done it through her career, but what do you think as she's gotten older, as she's now an upperclassman, that she's gotten better at in terms of recognizing the game and recognizing how she can get others involved?
Well, again, she's always, been, and again, she's the person we count on the most when it comes to making a shot and or helping us get the shot we want. Todd, she came in super mature. She had played against grown women over in Israel before she came over here. And so, what we got with Yarden was special because of her experience that she was coming over here with, playing at a high level against some really good players that were just not international. She played with American players and against American players as well. And as a young age, she had been counted on to play the point, off the ball. And so, I think with Yarden, she's just continued to, it's like any of these other freshmen, we have a different way of doing things, whether it's, our offensive system, how we're going to score the ball, defensive system. And I think just being able to embrace that and adjust to all of that. Again, going back to maturity, she's a mature kid. She's a smart kid. She's very unselfish. There's times where I want her to shoot the ball more, and she'll give it up. Right? She'll make that extra pass because she feels like her teammate is more open or has a better shot. And she's fun to coach, as I've said, because you can move her around. to a lot of different spots. I mean, tonight you watched her guard number one because of her size. So she gives you something, that you can change, defensive schemes, but you can also move her around on the offense, which is pretty terrific. So, but yeah, again, she's just, I think, as time has gone on, just become more comfortable with the lifestyle of how we do things around here, being in the gym, training, and she's become a really good teammate, and I think one of the things that I go back to Sid, because she talks a lot about our individuals, right, and how, we talk about having energy and shoot around, but we got to make sure that we realize that you're not going to get that kind of energy from Yarden. Yarden is her own person who gets ready for games differently. And is not a rah-rah kid. She's and I wouldn't call her an introvert, but she's not that rah-rah kid. And so she's very serious about competitions. She's serious about getting her mind and body ready for competition. And so, she just, keeps growing inside of our program, but she's reliable and somebody that we count on. And so, fingers crossed, right, that she is, back at practice on Monday.
Coach, 10 blocks today. Obviously, Lily and Carolyn did a great job on Sarah Williams. Just talk about how the plan to just rotate them in and out against her defensively all game, and like you said, made her uncomfortable.
Well, you look at it, Yarden had 4 blocks herself. So, again, that was part of the game plan, was to crowd Williams as much as we could. And we went from a hard dig to just trying to crowd to a yellow, which is a double. It's a double off of one of the players, one of her teammates. And so we wanted to mix it up. And I thought, like I said, our guards are part of the mixing up piece of it because they have to do their job as well. And I thought Chloe in particular, Lex, activity in their gaps, activity in their digs. When Lex would go to double, hands were high, just all of it, really good stuff.
Teri, sometimes you learn and grow by struggling. You had some early struggles this season, and now you seem to be clicking. How much growth have you seen, and how much more growth is it possible?
Well, there's a tremendous amount of growth still left for this basketball team. But again, adversity teaches you a lot of really good lessons, and we had our share of it early. But again, maybe the outside surprised by it, but I don't know that inside our staff was as surprised by it. I'm going to say it again. When you're trying to figure out how to play differently, when I say differently without an All-American post player, it takes time. It's a process, and we have also newcomers in Shea and in Strip that have to get used to how we play. And so you're mixing in pieces that are new to our program, all right? Again, you've already taken McKenzie out of the mix and Scalia out of the mix. Really, really good player for us. And so you're relearning how to play maybe a little bit differently. We're not putting the ball inside as much as we did when Mac was here. So you have to find other ways to score the ball. And I think it's just been a matter of time for us to figure out what that looks like for us. Some of it is playing fast. Some of it is making sure that, when we execute, we get our pieces where we want them. And we have to be able to execute at a high level, because Matt could bail us out of a lot of those scenarios, right? Those situations where we went on streaks where 2 minutes, where we weren't scoring. And as everybody called her, she was the cheat code. We could throw that ball into Mac and she was going to make something happen for us. And usually good. And so, I just think it's been a matter of time. But to say that we still have so much room to grow, there's no question for this group. I do think that they feel like they feel good about how we're trending right now. They realize there's so much basketball ahead of us. We got so much work still to do, but I feel like there's a confidence in how we're trending here in the last month. It feels good to kind of get back on track, have the assist high, keep the turnovers low, and then be really disciplined and good defensively.
Yeah, just with UCLA coming in, been a bit of a juggernaut. Only played one game, decided by single digits this season.
Yeah.
What have you seen for them? What do you anticipate? Kind of the challenges that they'll bring to Assembly Hall.
Yeah, they're really good. I haven't watched a lot of them. I'm not going to lie. But I've had a couple of them with USA Basketball that I've coached. Corey and her staff have done a great job of increasing their depth from the portal. There's a reason why they're number one in the country right now, right? They're really good. And they have a lot of different weapons, and then they have great depth off the bench. And so really haven't laid my eyes on them, but we will, put together hopefully a good plan as they come in here. We're going to need everybody to show up and, help us with the energy. The energy I thought today was really good. But we know they're really good. And but the Big Ten's really good. So they're just the next game for us. And so that's the only thing that we'll focus on. We'll put this one behind us and get ready for the next one.